between the taigas and in between tropical forests, sandwiched between these two, we will have temperate forests. So temperate forests, usually they would be located in the mid latitude areas. So roughly in between 23.5 degrees to 66.5 degrees. That means roughly we can say 30 to 50. Like in very common sense, we can say likewise. Common manner, we can say likewise. So they would be like this. So in between polar areas and tropical areas. So that is one thing. So can they be found in both the hemispheres? Yes, obviously they can be found because 30 degrees to 50 degrees north and south latitudes we are talking. So there is every possibility that land is there everywhere. So we can expect the vegetation there. So ecosystem can be present there. So that's how. So what about abiotic components? Important abiotic components. So look at the nature of the climatic conditions. So moist, warm summers. Moist and warm summers would be there, and frosty or rainy winter would be there. So here you try to look at the nature of the winter. Winter would be rainy or frosty. So this is one thing. And other thing, summer. Summer would be moist and warm. So due to presence of like availability of sufficient sunlight, so we can have like increase in the temperature. So it would be warm and it would be moist. So this thing you have to keep in mind, because rainfall also would be available. So due to that, these changes would be there. Frosty. Frosty winter means like snowfall. Snowfall. There would be snowfall. So winters, we can expect the snowfall in the winters like this. So yes, obviously that's what abiotic factors. Ecosystem is nothing but it's the complex of coordinated units of biotic and abiotic factors and their interactions among themselves and interactions with their physical environment. That is nothing but ecosystem. So ecosystem is made up of abiotic factors and biotic factors. And biotic factors will interact among themselves and with the physical environment. Physical environment is again made up of abiotic factors. They are like temperature, sunlight, rainfall, or like all these factors. So that's why we are learning what are those things like this. So that is one. So here, if we talk from abiotic factors, like presence of distinct seasons can be seen. Like we can differentiate the seasons. So distinct seasons can be differentiated. Like we can have autumn season, spring season, summer season, winter season. Likewise, we can differentiate different seasons here. So then what about the type of soils? So type of soil here would be, we will call them as alphisols, or if you talk from the nature or color point of view, it would be like brown forest soil, brown soil. Nature of the soil would be brown, brownish in color. Okay, so you see the type of soil in tundras, it was the permafrost. In taigas, it was podzolz. In the temperate forest, it was alphisols or brown soils. Okay, likewise. So you have to remember. If you compare, then you can remember things. So when you read this, you try to recollect that thing. So you can have likewise. So what kind of flora can be there? So here, these forests will have trees composed of broadleaf trees. Broadleaf trees means examples would be like oak trees, maple trees, beeches, likewise, and a small amount of shrubs, herbs, or mosses they can be seen. So that would be the flora. And what about fauna? So fauna would be like normal things, like we can see rodents, we can see bats, we can see brown bears, so marsupials, so such kind of things can be seen. So have you heard about marsupials? So where we can expect presence of marsupials? In which region marsupials would be more? Land of marsupials, which is known as land of, no, which area, which country, which region? Australia. Yes, Australia. So marsupials means kangaroos. Kangaroo is an example for marsupials. So if you're fond of cricket, then you can remember what's the name of the cricket team. They'll say like simply kangaroos. That means marsupials. Marsupials can be present in these regions, and one of the best region is like, even in the last year's exam also there was a question on marsupials stating that marsupials are confined only to southern hemisphere, or like they have given one particular extreme statement. So there can be such things. Okay, so that is with respect to temperate forests. So then we will have the tropical forests. So if we talk from tropical forest point of view, so usually they would be at low latitude areas. We are talking from latitudes, not altitudes. Don't get confused. So usually where they would be distributed, so they would be distributed in the they would be found in the wet tropical uplands or lowlands around the equator. That means in and around the equator or about the equator or in and around the equator, we can expect the tropical forests. Okay, so if we talk from the characteristics point of view, what would be the amount of rainfall here near the equator? Amount of rainfall would be obviously high. Okay, and amount of sunlight, what about amount of sunlight? High. So due to good, so due to presence of high rainfall and high temperature, so what would be the climatic condition? Means it would be humid. High humidity. High humidity means if more amount of water vapor that is present in the atmosphere, then we will call it as humidity. So presence of water vapor is known as humidity. So humid climate means if more amount of water vapor is present in the atmosphere, then we will call likewise. So high humidity is one thing, one characteristic. How we will get this means temperature. Temperature would be high and rainfall also would be high. So look at the precipitation. So precipitation usually may exceed 200 centimeters annually. Actually, this is annual temperature, annual rainfall. So due to presence of high rainfall and high temperature, this condition will prevail. So can you able to match up? So think, apply whatever you are seeing and do not by heart these things. Try to visualize what will happen. So it is very well known to us that when we move from low latitudes to high latitudes, I am talking 0-degree latitude to 90-degree latitude. What about the temperature? Does it reduce or increase? Temperature, insolation reduces. And what about the rainfall? Will it increase or decrease? Rainfall also decreases. Rainfall also decreases. So you have to keep and match such things. So that is one thing. And what about the type of soils? So mostly we can see here are like red latisols. That means like here we can have red soils with there in this soil we can have high rate of leaching of the minerals. So due to this, only iron and the magnesium they would be retained. So due to presence of them, soils will be, color of the soil would be like it would be red, and all other nutrients would be leached off. That means they would be removed off. So that is one thing. So soil type would be this, and flora and fauna. So it is common to us. So usually we can see diverse angiosperms. What do you mean by angiosperms? Angiosperms means what? Seed bearing fruits. And other important characteristics of angiosperms, flowering plants, flowering trees. So angiosperms, they are flowering trees as well as seed bearing. So gymnosperms means like they won't have covering on the seeds, like they won't give rise to flowers. Likewise, gymnosperms. So we can have angiosperms and gymnosperms. Both can be seen there. Likewise. So examples, you can have some trees. Likewise. So that is with respect to flora and fauna. Go through.